Have you been here before?
I've been here before. It's maybe been about 5 years since I've been in the area, and about 10 years since I've been at Anime Central.
Oh, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been a while. Have you had any type of specific food you've tried here or want to try that you
Well, you know, the big thing you eat here when you come here is deep dish pizza.
Pizza, yes.
So that happened on Friday night.
Giordano's?
I wish. We went to Gino's East. No offense, Gino's East, but I like Giordano's better. But someone else had made the reservation, but it was still delicious.
Yeah, that's
and you can't get pizza like it in Texas anyway. So I think we have Giordano's, but it's not anywhere near my house. So.
I think it's a tradition for all guests at Anime Central to have at least a Chicago pizza.
Yes, you must.
Yeah, definitely. I've been out of Texas, so pizza can't cut it.
We have different good food there.
Oh yeah, the barbecue's amazing.
Yes.
You can't mess with that.
All right. So how have you been working in the industry today?
Like today, Sunday?
Like in general, very recently.
Oh, busy. I have been extremely busy. We do simuldubs at Funimation, so that means we're putting out shows at the same time that they're coming out in Japan, within weeks, sometimes just days, sometimes the exact same day. And so I'm working on the new Fruits Basket and also a show called Fairy Gone by PA Works that I adore because PA Works are my favorite studio. So 2 shows that have a lot of responsibility behind them. Keep me pretty busy. Yeah.
So you did mention Fruit Basket, but and what other releases are you most excited for?
Well, Fairy Gone is ongoing. I think episode 6. Uh-oh. Just hold that thought.
The plug got pulled on our interview. Literally. That's a first.
Blooper.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Very good.
Take 2.
Take 2, yeah.
So Fairy Gone is ongoing, as is Fruits Basket, and I'm just excited for more people to catch on to it, but I think it's pretty exciting so far. Anytime we post clips, folks are really into it. Upcoming soon are some home video releases. A couple years ago, it feels like now, I directed a show called Fuka. That was a sequel to my very first show I ever directed, which is Suzuka. And Fuka had a lot of music involved in it, and for broadcast, we didn't have time to dub that music, but we were able to dub all of the songs, and those will be available for home video. And people have been waiting for it, so I'm excited for that to come out, I think in July.
So there was like a lot of live musicians collaborating on the soundtrack, or what do you mean by there's live music?
This show is a show about kids who start a band together, so it's all, them. It's kind of not J-pop, J-rock sort of music, sung by the characters. So it's not just background songs, it is the characters singing and performing. Yeah. And that's pretty central to the story. So whenever a situation is like that, we try to get the permission to dub the music. And we can't always, because sometimes the singers are Japanese pop stars or something, and they want their music. Like, it'll still be there. It's on the other track. Just switch to Japanese, and it's still there. Oh, yeah. But in this case, we were able to dub the music. So what that means is we have a lyric adapter who's also the musical director who will adapt all of the lyrics from Japanese to English, and then also direct all of the singers in the recording of their voices. And I am one of those singers as well, so it's cool.
Oh, that must have been fun. Messing with auto-tune, man.
Not so much of that. No, it's really just like, it has to be pretty legit because they're singing in like clubs and whatever.
So there's like a live element.
Yeah, it isn't just, they become a famous band and you're listening to their highly produced music.
Oh, that's
It's
really
like you're hearing them mostly in clubs and like school shows, that kind of thing. So it feels pretty raw and it's good.
Nice.
All right, so the next thing that we wanted to talk about is your directing.
Yes, please do.
Okay, so what is your normal routine when directing a show?
My daily routine, well, I work 10 to 6 every day, Monday through Friday. Sometimes a little later, sometimes a little earlier, you never know, but generally it's 10 to 6. And the actors have already been scheduled for me. That's not my job exactly, so I just show up, I see who's on the calendar for the day, and we will record whatever they're scheduled to record. One of 2 shows usually. It could also be we're working on an older show that's now going to go to home video, so we have to do what are called pickups, kind of make some repairs to the broadcast version because the home video has been altered or something, or not in a bad way, but So yeah, I could see one actor all day if they have that much to say, or I could see a dozen actors all day. You never know. Yeah.
Oh, so it all varies depending on the show.
The show and more like the actor schedule. But usually with simuldubs, there won't be one character that has 7 hours of recording. The most any given character has in one episode, because we work one episode at a time. The most talkative characters usually have about 4 hours, maybe 6 hours. So usually I'm working with an actor for anywhere from 1 to 3 hours a day. And sometimes we're doing a Walla session, which is a group session for all of the background voices, and that'll be 4 actors at one time.
So does an AD, assistant director, come into play in any way, or is it mainly the assistant smaller?
I do have an assistant, but they're not there with me at the same time. They're there at night, or when I'm at Anime Central, they substitute for me. And because there aren't enough hours in the week to do 2 episodes in 40 hours, we need more time. So I work 10 to 6, and then my assistant works not every night, because often the directors will share assistants. So an assistant could be working on multiple shows, and one night they do 2 hours in my room and 2 hours in someone else's room.
So when you do the directing, depending on how like the length of each episode, is it more based on how much dialogue there is, or it could be there could be a lot of scenes in it?
Right. So every episode is the same number of minutes in length, but it does just depend. Is it dialogue heavy or is it action heavy? And that will determine the number of hours that are needed to record it.
What do you find most challenging about directing?
The most challenging part is that we're only working on one episode at a time, and we don't always have all of the information for where the story is going. That's the difficulty of simuldubs. So we do the best that we can, and then we fix things as we can for home video, which is not ideal. So I hope that in the future we're able to get more advanced information, especially about stories that are original anime. If they have a source material like a manga or a video game, then that's a little easier to figure out. But it can be really tough when suddenly a character, you get to episode 11 and you find out that boy is actually a girl, or things like that. Or if it's a mystery and you as a director don't actually know who did it, because we're only seeing the episode, we see it, and then a week later we have a script and we're working on it.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
I can see that.
Yeah, you need to be the person that everybody can ask the whys and the hows and all of that, and sometimes you're just like,
the big picture.
I don't know. We'll find out.
What's the rewarding part of directing, since you came from being a voice actor and you started directing and it seems like you like it?
Oh, I love it.
What is that rewarding part that brings you into directing from voice acting that you like so much?
The rewarding part is getting to explore more of the characters. And when you're an actor, you only get to be the character that you're cast as. So as a director, it's wonderful to kind of get to help the actors shape their performances, and you're just sharing in something. It's so much more collaborative, I think. That's why I like it so much.
Group effort, and also being able to help direct the characters and get into that mind more.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So when it comes to directing, do you have any unique tricks and strategies when directing for a show?
Sure. I think it is 100% a director's job to communicate with an actor. If you're not a good communicator, then you're not going to be a good director. And because, like I said, we have limited information, that can be really frustrating to an actor. They all want to do their very best job, and they can only do that if they have all the info they need to make the right decisions about their characters. So that's what acting is. It's like reacting and choosing. So trying to find the best way to provide all that information to them, and also when I can't.
Voice acting exercise.
Voice acting exercises next door, yeah. When I am at a loss, I think it's great to be able to work together with them and I want them to know I'm in their corner. They're not going to sound bad. I'm not going to let that happen. So I have to make sure that they are relaxed, that they trust me. So a lot of the time I don't like to tell them what to do, or rather if we record a take and it's not quite working. If it's timing, yeah, I can easily go faster, slower. Those are easy changes. Pause more here or whatever. But if it has something to do with the tone or the emotion emotion that's being portrayed and it needs some adjustment. Sometimes if it's an easy fix, I'll be like, just a little more sad or be more happy. But other times it's more complex. So I like to tell them kind of like, here's the problem we need to solve. I need it to be, or it's sounding like this, and it needs to be more that. And I don't tell them how to do that. I just tell them this is the end goal, and let them determine the course to the adjustment they need to make to their voice and their performance to get there. So that way it feels more like it's a team effort. If I just say, do exactly this and hold on this word and be louder and breathe and and spell it all out for them, that's a whole lot more work for me. And then in the end, the actor won't really feel like they did anything except what I told them. And that kind of stuff comes out in the performances, so it's important to be a team.
So some Fullmetal Alchemist questions.
Sure.
So Winry Rockbell, how gave you like the inspiration for her voice and influences on that voice?
I don't think I had any sort of vocal inspiration because at the time I was brand new. So mainly inspiration for any voice comes from the Japanese. And I mean the whole thing, the animation and the voice together as one, not just the actress, not just listening to what Winry sounds like. It's about how is she presented, the whole package of her in Japanese. That's what gives me the first impression. And I just have to do whatever I can. And I don't even know, I couldn't tell you what my vocal apparatus is doing to sound like her. It's just, I try and match what she's up to on the screen.
So there's probably a visual aspect to it, her being a mechanic and...
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes it can be a bit like the way you stand in the booth, depending on how she's acting, what is her attitude like that day. But she's such a sweet and open person, so it's very important to not be closed off in there and just be receptive to the director. But vocally, I would focus a lot on how old she is at the time because her age changes and they jump around a lot, especially in the original Fullmetal. In fact, it's hard for me to listen to the original Fullmetal because I didn't understand those age differences. I didn't know how old she was going to be later. I would have loved for her to have sounded younger, and I could have made her sound younger, but that's what the directors told me to do, so that's what we went with.
Do opposites attract? Her and Edward are always fighting and butting heads.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. I think it's the perfect like girl next door scenario. And especially it's not set in America, but she's so all American with her blonde hair and ponytail and blue eyes, and then the two that are always at odds, of course, are meant for one another, and I think that's awesome.
That's like a long-running series. Do you get to watch a lot of the shows that you work on as a voice actor? Because I know a lot of people that don't. Like I interviewed Michiru Oshima, who did a lot of the music for that, and she's done music for Godzilla, and she just doesn't watch any of it because she doesn't have the time to.
She's moving on to the next project. Yeah, when we originally did Fullmetal, I would watch it, especially because it was on television. It was coming out on Toonami every week, so I would watch it then. But by the time we got to Brotherhood, I was a full-time director, and still acting, and that's my situation now too. And when you have to prepare to direct 2 shows and possibly be in some other shows, that's a whole lot of time in front of a screen already. So no, I don't actually get a chance to watch things that I'm in after I'm done with them. Things that I direct, yeah, I watch it as I direct it. I watch when it's completed, I watch it 2 or 3 more times and then move on. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right, so let's go ahead and swing back to the new Fruits Basket anime.
Sure.
So what makes directing the new Fruits Basket anime special?
What makes it special? The fact that the fans have been waiting for it for so long. Like, I can't think of any other show. It is probably the most highly anticipated anime, maybe of all time. Fans have been chomping at the bit for more Fruits Basket since it first came out 15, 17 years ago. So that's what makes it really special, and the fact that it's because of the fans that there is more. I truly believe that. Like, their outcry was heard all the way in Japan, and it took them a while, but here's a new show. That is what's special about it. The way it looks, it's beautiful. The fact that we're going to tell the entire story this time. Yes.
Yeah, Fruits Basket I grew up with Fruits Basket. It really, really holds a positive feeling in my heart.
Yes.
So it's just crazy how they're redoing it and using the most modern technology, and now they're telling the whole thing. That's just something that really gets me. So when you were working on Fruits Basket, how often do you reference the original manga and the original Fruits Basket anime?
I don't reference the original anime much at all because this is a new show. And even the creator was kind of like, well, we already have one show, so if we're going to make another, it's going to be different. So I don't, that's how it even happened at all. So I don't reference the original. I feel like the reference to the original is our cast, which is different from the Japanese. They recast it entirely, and we kept the majority of the original cast because that's what the fans would want. And it's been awesome. So I don't really look back to the old show much at all. There have been a couple of jokes that we've tried to maintain, if possible, like the same wording from other episodes because it's just too good. But then when you reference the manga, you're like, well, that would have happened anyway because it's in the manga that way. I've read the entire manga, and the manga are used for references with every script. The script writers have them there. They know exactly which volume and which chapter, and when certain parts of the manga story are happening in a different order in the anime, but it's still all there. So that's part of the routine, is referencing the manga. So I guess daily.
So we have to wrap it up.
Okay.
So any message to your fans that you would like to say?
Thank you guys so much for following me all of these years and for making what I thought was just going to be a job into a career. I really appreciate it, and I think that it is the best possible job ever. So thanks for all your support.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Caitlin.
You're welcome. Oh, yeah.